there, my name is Jaime and today's lesson is an excellent introduction to conditional clauses. Let's revise some grammar. I'm going to focus on the different type of conditional clauses, its structure. I'll set some examples and we'll finally practice them. Are you ready? So conditional sentences can be challenging, okay? They're also called if clauses. These sentences are connected somehow. They are not independent sentences, and they range from present to the past. What do conditional sentences express? They express what could happen, what we wish would happen, what actually happens in the present, and what might have happened in the past. Conditional sentences can swap the order. I will visit my grandparents if I travel to my town, or if I travel to my town, I will visit my grandparents. As you can see, both sentences are connected one to each other. The condition goes along with the result. Conditional is the first conditional. This one is focused on facts, general truths, and statements. This is one of the most basics. It's a simple one, and it's the first one that students learn at secondary school. It's focused on present and present, okay? If I read in the tram, I get sick. For me personally, that's a certain, okay? If you do not eat, you die. That's a truth, that's a certain. First conditional. This one is used to talk about potential situations. They might happen, okay? They are likely to happen. And the structure is present simple and future. If it rains, we will get wet, okay? It can be confusing for some students when they start learning conditional sentences because sometimes they confuse and they mix if with will. If it will rain, we get wet. No. Present simple, if. Simple clause, okay, the conditional. If it rains, okay, we will get wet. Second conditional is a hypothetically or unlikely situation, which means is not going to happen or is very difficult to happen, okay? For the first time on the conditionals, we are going to use the subjunctive, okay? This is the way to express subjunctive in English. And the structure is past simple and would infinitive on the clause, okay? So this is the if clause with the past simple. This is the example. If Max lived in Rome, he would visit the football Olympic Stadium every Sunday. But then we are witnessing a conditional sentence here. Hypothetically, this is difficult to happen because Max is not living in Rome right now. Now, if he lived, he would visit, okay? He would certainly do this. Second conditional is usually expressed for advice, okay? If I were you, I would live in New York City. If I drank water, I would be healthier, which means I don't drink right now. So if I drank, if I was planning to start doing that activity, I would be healthier, which I am not right now. So this is a hypothesis This is a situation which right now is not happening. It's very unlikely to happen. It's difficult to happen, but it's not a closed option. Okay. The challenge here is the confusion between the if with the past. Some students freak out when they see the combination of both if and the past. If Max leave, if I slept, okay, 9 hours, if I ate more salads, okay, this is a little bit confusing when we get up to this point. Let's get to the third conditional. This is the highest level of grammar in terms of conditionals. It might seem really complex. Students do not like it very much, but as we revise it and as we see some examples, you'll see that it's not as difficult as you think so. Okay? So this conditional represents an unreal situation, an impossible situation which is not happening. Okay? Why? Because it's focused on the past. The structure follows the past perfect on the if clause. If Fiona had, if John had traveled, if Mary had studied, and a main clause result formed by would have and past participle. If Fiona had time off, she would have traveled to Canada last summer. If I had studied more geology, I would have passed the class. Third conditional also represent regrets. These are situations, these are ideas focused on the past. I wish I had done this before. If only I had implemented another strategy, my class would have been greater. My students would have learned more. So I'll put an end to the 4 conditionals here. I want to focus the next part of my presentation on the different type of conjunctions that we can come across when it comes to conditional grammar sentences. On most of the cases, we are going to find if, but in some other cases, we might come across different type of linking words, such as unless, which means the opposite to if. Now here, the challenge for the students is the substitution of if by unless. Some of them believe that unless means exactly the same as if, and it's totally the opposite. Al will get sick unless he stops eating. Another linking word is had you, inversion. Had you known that store, you wouldn't have bought those shoes over there. This is a little bit more formal since we are very much stuck into the if clause. We do not tend to identify this as a conditional sentence. That's one of the challenges for the students. Supposing, as long as, which means as soon as, okay, the parade will start when the mayor arrives, as soon as the mayor arrives. That's another type of conditional where we see the connection between the condition and the result. On the condition that you will get the job, on the condition that you work every other Saturday, you will get the job if you work every other Saturday. And I'd also add should you, which means opinion. You should have invited me if you had celebrated your birthday. That's another type of conditional with the should. More giving an opinion, considering a personal request. Okay. So what about some practice? Okay. I want you to take some seconds to think about the different pictures that I'm going to show you. Okay, the first one here, a boy dreaming about something. What conditional would you use for this case? Okay, very good. Check it out. If he practices hard, he'll become a professional football player. What conditional is this? First conditional. If he practices hard, present simple, he will become. Future tense. Look at this picture now. What did Mark do wrong? Think about something. Let me give you this clue. Consider the past on this picture. There's no way back. If he had taken Laura to a romantic movie, they would have had a nicer time. As you can see, they seem like they're not having a great time. They're watching some kind of horror movie. So if Mark had taken her to another type of movie, they probably have had a nicer time. Okay, third conditional. If with the past perfect and the would have with the past participle. What would you do if you were Jim? I'm already giving you the tip on the question. What would you do if you were Jim? Okay, if I were Jim, I would definitely swim away, very far away. Second conditional, if with the past simple and the would and infinitive. Very good. Look at this bullet comic. Could you interpret the image? If it's windy, his hat flies away. Okay, very good. This zero conditional. If it gets really windy as a present, as a fact, his hat flies away as a consequence. Okay, that's the result to the conditional. What could you do? Okay, for this condition, look at the environment, look at this landscape. What could you do? If I could, I would help the environment. I would not litter, I would not pollute, I would not destroy the jungle, the rainforest. Second conditional. If I could, if I should, I would help the environment. Okay, so that was a very good practice. That was a nice overview of the four conditionals with different type of examples. Okay, now let me show you some recommendations before we finish. Hereby, I attach you three different type of websites. The first one, Fun with Conditionals. This is a very good master website regarding different type of board games, classroom setting rules regarding conditional grammar, fun activities for ESL students. I highly recommend you to listen to some songs, especially on this website. There are different type of songs with multiple conditional uses. And this third one is more focus on worksheets. This website here, ISL Collective, it's a very helpful one with lots of tips and advices regarding the different uses of conditionals. So that was all. Thank you for your time. Good luck with those conditionals. And if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact me.